Okay, so we are going to begin. So finding your seat, Sukhasana. And so we did, some of us chatted a little bit before class about some ways that our body responds to the heat. And one of the ways is sometimes our feet get a little unhappy. And so we talked about the options of being able to soak our feet in different things, maybe apple cider vinegar and water, maybe some herbs that are cooling, and maybe both apple cider vinegar, water, and herbs that are cooling, as well as melting your feet at the end of the day as well. So you could wake up and melt your feet with that soft ball, just kind of run through it quickly once, just kind of wake your feet up, get that hydration moving up and down your body, and then towards the end of the day, melt your feet again, just in case anything got stuck or clogged up somewhere. Let me find this really great little tip sheet. And I know that I've given this out before. The Ayurvedic Institute in Bellingham always just puts out really great information, and most of it is free. So if you ever have a chance to go to Bellingham, you should definitely check out their location. Otherwise, you can like them on Facebook, or you can get newsletters from them in your inbox through email. Really, really neat people. So they just talk about summer is the pivotal time of year. So we are in that fiery space. And one of the things that we've been kind of talking about throughout the summer is really coming into the idea of loving and understanding and being able to utilize our dragon versus trying to vanquish or defeat our dragon. And so I think that summer is kind of the perfect time for that, because it's when our dragon is at its most fierce. It has its most potential. The idea of fire is kind of around us everywhere. It's definitely in the sky. It's definitely in the air that we're breathing. It's probably in many of our homes, and definitely in our bodies. And so instead of just constantly trying to like put out that fire, the idea of being able to tame isn't my favorite word, but it's the only word that's coming to my mind at the moment. Maybe even befriend that fire in a way. And so just kind of using some of our yoga and Ayurvedic tools in order to befriend and love and nurture the dragon, so that you don't extinguish its fire, but you also don't become consumed by its fire either. So again, the external, fire or dragon, as well as the internal fire or dragon, to be able to kind of harness that energy. One of the really positive terms of the Pitta that I always really love to see is transformational. So that has all of these other, connotations, like it's sharp, it's intense, there's all these things, but transformational is a really big word. And I think that we can really use that in our practice this time of year. Wintertime, we give ourselves permission to kind of slow down, to rest, to kind of snuggle in, so to speak. And then we're so busy in the spring and the fall. We're very easily distracted. We have a lot of projects. We have to get, all that stuff in the fall, getting ready for winter, and all that stuff in the spring, coming out of winter and getting ready for summer. But summer can really be this stage of transformation. Like what motivates us? So going back to that, what do we stand for? Once you've kind of come into that space of what is it that I stand for? Now, what's going to motivate me to not just stand still with what I stand for? What's going to motivate me to really walk forward with what I stand for, to continue on this journey, to continue on this path, to continue letting this path be just lit up with that energy and that fire from within and without. So this idea of transformation. So they do say that we need to strike a balance though. So here are some suggestions. striking balance. Slow down. You will get everything done. Just slow down. Calm down. Again, using that calming, cooling breath that we use in class. Cool down, using a nice cloth, soaking our feet in cool water. Hydrate. And again, my suggestion is please don't just drink water. There's something about water, it just kind of seems to go in and go out. Put something in your water, not caffeine, not something that's dehydrating, but put something in your water. Put some mint in your water. Put some nettle in your water. Put some linden in your water. Something that just gives it one little extra ounce of nourishment. Stroll. So let your activities be a little kinder, right? There's enough sweat coming out of our body, just more sitting still in the summertime. We don't have to push ourselves quite so aggressively with our physicality. Use sunflower oil in your cooking during this time of year. Be done eating by about 6:30 at night and try to go to bed at like 9:30 at night. I know that's so hard to do in the summer. But here are the herbs and spices that they recommend. Cilantro, coconut, peppermint, dill, fennel, cumin, coriander, lemongrass, lime, cardamom. Consume them, cook with them, garnish with them, put them in your tea. They do say to avoid things like cayenne, chili, ginger, those spicy, hot things we need when we're cold. So you can just kind of put them on the back shelf of your spice cabinet for a few more months. So again, all those things are on the Mellow Monkey page. You can just look at that post that I put out there and maybe screenshot it or just write it down. But just a couple of things to keep in mind as we look into this transformational time. These are tools that help us befriend our dragon, not extinguish our dragon's fire. So it's a little tidbit for today. So from where you are in your seat, lean back into your hands, step your feet out in front of you. You've been in Sukhasana for a while. So let the knees rock from side to side. Rolling all the way to the edges of your feet, rolling all the way from one sit bone to the other sit bone. Good. Let the knees come back to center. And as you start to sit up, I still want the knees to stay bent, but lengthen your legs out a little bit more in front of you. Place the heels of your feet down, but flex your feet so that the soles of your feet are shining forward. And then from this space, we're just going to come into a couple of really easy seated variations of cat-cow. So your hands can start on your knees. As you inhale, draw your heart space towards your knees and then press your shoulders down. Lift your heart space up. Open through the voice box and sway through your spine a little bit. And then as you exhale, let it feel like somebody's got a string on the back of your heart and they're pulling through your heart. Allow your chin to come down towards your collarbone. Stay long through your spine, but begin to round through it, kind of tucking into your belly. And then just kind of come into those motions a few times, front to back. And as your hands start being able to get down your legs a little bit more, take that space. So as you inhale and come forward, maybe letting the hands travel down your shins. As you exhale and rock back, they can come back up towards your knees and kind of hang on. But eventually when you inhale and come forward, if you get to a space where it feels like your hands are getting pretty easy to come to your ankles or even to your toes or your bell bridge, I want you to come into that space. And then if that happens for you, where you can kind of grab onto your toes, then I want you to push through the ball bridge of your feet into your hands, trying to almost put the soles of your feet down on the ground. They're not going to get there. Don't try to get them there, but they're just going to be working towards that space. And then I want you to push your spine way away from you so you feel kind of this tug of war going on in your body. And then release it and come back to Sukhasana. We'll come right into our breath practice. So stabilizing down through your sits bones, lengthening gently through your spine, and softening wide through your shoulders. Starting with the 3 full body breaths of the sighs. Inhale in through your nose and out through the mouth. One more. And then let that slow to our calming and cooling breath, our best friend during the summertime. Breathe gently in through your nose and out like you're blowing on a hot cup of tea. In through your nose and out like you're blowing on a warm cup of tea. And in through your nose. Now let the nose slide down to your heart. Let the shoulders and the upper chest stay relatively still. Breathing in, envisioning it's coming in right at heart center. Let the belly expand out and down. And as you exhale, feel that gentle contraction right around the perineum area, the pelvic floor, lifting back up, feeling that gentle core engagement. And then as you inhale, let the core relax and go out and explore. And as you exhale, feel that gentle contraction that climbs all the way back up from the tailbone, back up to above your belly button. 2 more. Good. So we're gonna get ready to come down on our back. And if you have something that you could prop your hips up on, definitely grab it. If you've got a nice thick dictionary, that's what I'm gonna use today. You can use a book like that. If you have a block at home, you can use that. But if you don't have anything like that, you don't need it. It's just an option with your props. Well, I have my nice big dictionary. Where did I put it? Here it is. Okay. So if you're ending up, you're not propping today, whenever I say, slide your prop underneath your sacrum, just ignore me. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal in any way, shape, or form. Okay. So once you've got what you need, come down onto your back and start with just that really nice, gentle hugging in, drawing the knees towards your belly, feeling how that helps you really stretch the low back line all the way through the back of your pelvis. And then let that motion start to just get into that nice, soothing, rocking space. Just notice how it feels to kind of comfort your body this way. And then let that motion still back to center. Pausing at center, extend through your left leg, stretch it all the way out. Let it hover above your mat for just a moment. Foot is flexed, leg is long, straight, and strong. And then lower the heel all the way down to your mat. Once your heel is on your mat, your foot can stay flexed or it can be relaxed. Just don't let your whole leg get relaxed and kind of loll out to the side. Nice and long through the leg. And if you need to leave the foot flexed to stay steady, then definitely just do that. And then we'll come into Pavana-Muktasana, drawing the knee towards your torso on one side. As you do so, let the shoulders get wide. And then exhale, curl up, tucking your chin, drawing your heart towards your knee. As you curl back down, re-widen and open your shoulders. And remember to lift your chin so that when your head comes down onto your mat, it's really behind the bridge of your nose that's on the mat, not the base of your skull. Okay, so inhale, pull the knee towards you. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, curl down. Exhale, soften the hold on your knee. One more time. Inhale towards you. Exhale, curl up, curl down, and soften the hold on your knee. Release your hands from your knee and stretch your right heel up towards the sky. So here you are with your legs both strong, both long, but going in opposite directions. And then optionally, you can, actually, let's not make it optional. Bend your left knee, place the left sole of your foot on the floor, and then take your heel and move your heel left to right, and let the movement of the heel actually rotate the entire leg. So even though it's the heel guiding the motion, your entire leg is moving left to right. It's kind of like when you're screwing in a light bulb and you're like, wait, which way does it go? Does it go left? Does it go right? Does it go left? Does it go right? And your whole leg is rotating like that all the way up into where the femur comes into the pelvis. And then the next time that your right heel is pointing left, let the legs come toward each other. So let your right leg travel left and let your left knee travel right. And now it should kind of feel like you're squeezing, like, oh man, I kind of have to go potty. And then bend your right knee. Bring the outside of your right heel to the outside of your left knee. And then we're going to take the knees over to our left. So use your left hand on your right knee and take your knees over, coming into a twist. You can extend through your right arm, palm up, or even in cactus, trying to keep the right shoulder as down as it will stay today, with just a little bit of a focus on you. And then gently easing back to center, both feet flat down. Reset your pelvis by pressing through your heels and lifting up, lengthening. And then we'll come right into the second side. So hugging both of your knees in. Take your hands over to your left knee, flex both feet, push your right leg straight out so it's hovering above your mat. Feel that steady, long control. And then lower your right heel down onto your mat. And again, you can choose if keeping the foot flexed helps keep your leg steady, keep it flexed. If you can relax your foot and also stay long through your leg, that's a great option as well. So just kind of figuring out which one is best for you for stability today. And then coming into Pavanamottanasana. Inhale, draw the knee towards your chest, widen your shoulders. Exhale, curl up, tucking in. As you curl down, untuck shoulders and chin, and soften the hold on your knee. 2 more times. Inhale, knee towards you. If you're pushing through your heel here, you might feel a little more length through that psoas flexor group. Curling up, curling down, and softening the hold on your knee one more time. Good. As you soften the hold on your knee, take your hands away from it. The foot is flexed. You're going to reach up through the heel. Again, if the leg is not straight because the hamstrings are tight, that's okay. Don't push through it. Keep some softness around the knee. So during our pitta time of year, we really want all of our efforts and energy to kind of pull back a little bit. So if you are type A perfectionist and you're always gunning for 110%, I'm going to ask you to bump that back to like 80 or 90. If you already just kind of are fine with 90, I'm going to ask you to pull back to like 80. Okay, so from here, once again, letting the heel guide the motion left and right, and let that come into the full rotation of the leg all the way to where the head of the femur inserts into the pelvis. Which way am I turning? Good, so you're just moving it left to right, steady and strong. Good, pause, bend your knee, plant your foot, turn your heel so it's pointing to the right. Let the left leg travel right, let the right knee travel left. Again, you're squeezing right there at the pelvic floor, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then bend your knee. Heel comes to the outside edge of your knee, hand to your knee, other arm, left arm extends. And take the knees across your body into your twist. Anchoring down to the left shoulder and the left arm, softening through your belly. Maybe your gaze is straight up or to the left. And coming back to center. Again, both feet down, lift your hips, realign your spine, and then hug your knees in. Okay, if you're using a prop today, take a moment to grab it, and then we'll slide it underneath the sacrum. So, basically just lift your hips up into bridge, slide your prop underneath you, and then just check, make sure it's not on your back. You can kind of sometimes dig in a little bit and feel the top swoops of each hip bone. So you want to make sure it's below those top swoops. You're like, I can't find that because there's too much stuff going on back here. Just kind of wiggle around on it, make sure you really feel the back of your sacrum on the back of your prop, that it's not on any of the vertebrae in your lumbar spine. Okay. So from here, bring your arms down by your side, lift your feet up, and then as you inhale, reach your heels and your hands up for the sky, and as you exhale, bend your knees, let the heels just kind of dangle in front of your hamstrings and bring your palms down to the floor. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale down. Again, if you're not using a prop under your sacrum today, you're doing the exact same thing. You're reaching up as you inhale, and you're bending your knees and planting your palms as you exhale. 2 more. Good. Inhale and reach up. As you exhale, leave your legs up and place your hands on the outsides of your thighs. So now again, make sure your shoulders are wide because we're about ready to ask our body to do its own active resistance. So as you inhale the next time, let your legs open towards V, but really let your hands resist that motion. So it takes the entire to come into your legs, and then pause. Place your hands on your inner thighs, and as you exhale, resisting with your hands, bring your legs back to each other. And do that several times. So switch your hands. Inhale to open with resistance. Exhale to close with resistance. Inhale to open with resistance. Exhale to close with resistance. 2 more. As your legs come back to each other, bend your knees. Good. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. And take your hands and kind of grab on to either the sides of your left thigh or circle all the way around to grab the back of your left thigh. And then just let the knees, I should say, your left knee and your right ankle come a little bit closer to you as you kind of bend your elbows and pull. And then just soften that space. And then bend your elbows and soften that space. And bend your elbows. Now, with your left hand on your left thigh, bring your right hand to your right inner thigh. And as you've pulled the legs towards you, now I want you to push against the right thigh. So you're bringing your legs a little bit more back into that figure 4 straight up and down shape. But again, it's with resistance because you're still pulling with your left arm. And then relax. And then keep that resistance with the left hand, trying to keep the left leg close to you, but push with the right hand pushing away. So there's a lot of activity, a lot of strength going on in your body right now as it kind of resists itself. Relax. And one more. Pull and push. And relax. Unhook your knee from your ankle and just pause for a moment right here. Good. Now cross your left ankle over your right knee. Same thing, both hands to your right thigh, either to the outside or behind it. And you're just gonna pull the knee and the ankle towards you by bending your elbows. Feel that stretch probably on the back side of your left thigh. You might feel it somewhere else too, that's all right. And relax. And then pull. Keep your jaw soft, relax, and pull. Okay, so keeping your right hand on your right thigh, take your left hand to the inside of your left thigh. And now, while you're kind of having that active holding space on the right side, push the left hand against the left knee. The legs are going to move away from you, but it's not going to be easy. Should be a lot of active resistance there. And then relax. Stay engaged to the right side. Press through the left. And then relax. One more time, stay engaged to the right side and push to the left. And relax. Unhook your ankle from your knee. Now, if you're on the prop, I want you to follow me. If you don't have a prop underneath you, you can let the feet come down to the ground and just kind of let the knees rock side to side and then maybe come into a twist. But if you're on a prop, I want you to take your knees and drift them to your left, just like maybe an inch. You're going to kind of feel this little like, and all of a sudden you're going to feel the weight of your pelvis on your prop, right in between your left hip bone and the left edge of your sacrum. And once you're there, kind of put your hands on your ribs so that you can feel them staying steady and still. You're going to engage through your core to do that. And then let your knees start to move in circles. Oh man, I can tell I haven't done this in a while. If you are doing this with me and you are on a hard book, selfishly, I hope you're feeling this as uncomfortably as I'm feeling this right now. Holy moly. Breathe steady, soft shoulders and jaw. And then still that motion and let the knees just kind of march front to back. So you're just kind of walking through your knees here. It's called shearing the SI joint. And then pause in this tilt, take a breath. And then move your knees through center. Now do that to the second side. So again, if you're not practicing this with us, you might now come back to the reaching and the lowering from where you are, or you might come into another twist based on what your body feels like it wants right now. But if you are on a prop, shift your knees over now to your right, kind of feel when you're on that continental divide between the right hip and the right side of your sacrum. Keep your ribs anchored by your hands and by the activation of your core, and then start to move your knees in circles. The ribs just won't stay still. Don't move both of your knees. Instead, just move the right. Notice if you have one side that was more tender than the other. I know I sure do. This side feels a lot better than that first side for me. And then pause the circles and instead come into the little marching motion, letting the knees come front to back in opposition. And then pause, take a breath. And then come back to center. So again, whether or not you have a prop beneath you, we're going to take the active Apanasana float. So you can do this propped or not propped. They're exactly the same. It just is a little bit more distinct on the prop. So propped or not, we're still going to do this pose together. So take your hands, place them on your knees, or just above your knees on your thighs. As you inhale, let the knees travel towards you, just like we do in Pavana Muktasana, but with both legs. Now, as you exhale, I want you to push your hands against your thighs. Let your thighs really resist being moved back up to straight up and down. That get there. And then tilt your pelvis. So you're going to take the back of your pelvis and draw it towards the back of your rib cage. And then I want you to push your ribs down. So you really should feel this activation on the front of your core. And then relax. Let the knees just travel softly towards you. And then when you're ready, exhale, push your hands against your resisting knees. Inhale, tilt your pelvis. Exhale, push the back of your ribs down and feel that core activation. And then inhale, relax, let the knees drift to you. 2 more times. Exhale, push with active resistance away. Inhale, tilt your pelvis. Exhale, push your ribs down. And inhale, relax. Last one. Exhale, push with resistance. Inhale, tilt. And exhale, push the ribs down. Good, release. Bring your feet all the way down. And if you're on a prop, lift your hips, slide that thing out from underneath you. And come back in. Good. Letting the knees rock from side to side, and we'll work our way up into our seat. So you might rock front to back or roll to your side and press up into your seat, whichever works best for you. So as you come back into Sukhasana, hopefully you feel a little more spacious in your hip flexors and a little more stable through your pelvis as you come into this pose. Take it into our therapeutic twist from here. So as you inhale, lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, take your right hand over to your left knee and your left hand behind you. Be soft through your fingers, gently lengthen up through your spine, roll your shoulders down and back, and very casually gaze over your back shoulder. Relax your jaw as you inhale. And as you exhale, turn your gaze to look over your front shoulder. Press the shoulders down, relax your jaw as you breathe in. And as you exhale, rotating your head, allowing your right ear to just kind of hover above the right shoulder. Shoulders are still pressing away though. Good. Whenever your next exhale begins, gaze over your shoulder, pressing down through the shoulders, lifting up through the belly button. And again, the exhale guides the motion. Let your gaze travel back over your back shoulder. Use your arms a little bit more intentionally here to deepen the rotation through your waist. And then release back to the front, lean back into your hands, and you can either set the soles of your feet down and rock your knees or lengthen your legs out in front of you and bump the backs of your legs down. Okay, we'll take our therapeutic twist to the second side. Bringing the legs back in, anchoring to the sits bones, lengthening up through your waist as you inhale. And as you exhale, taking your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind you. And again, circle down through the shoulders, lengthen up through the spine, and quite casually gaze over your back shoulder, relaxing your jaw, breathing in. And as you exhale, turning your head to look over your front shoulder. Shoulders are still pressing down though. Breathe in. Exhale, rotating your head, letting the ear gently hover above your shoulder, feeling that stretch. You might open your mouth a little bit more here. The exhale guides the motion, sending the gaze straight over your front shoulder. A little bit more strength in the pose the second time here. And exhale, changing your gaze, using your arms for a little more rotation through your waist. And releasing back to center. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, come up and over onto your hands and your knees. If you want a prop underneath your knees, give yourself a moment to set that up for yourself. Let your hands be right underneath your shoulders, not underneath your chest. And come into a spine that's just as long as it was when it was on your mat and when it was in Sukhasana. From right here, I just want you to do that diaphragmatic breath. So as you inhale in, imagine the inhale is coming in through your heart. Let your belly soften and expand. And then as you exhale, contract, starting at the space between your sits bones, and contract all the way up to the space above your belly button. Do that again. Now, from this contraction, really think about the space between your belly button and your spine. And as you inhale, let cow pose begin from that space and stretch north and south from the belly button. And then as you exhale, let the pose begin between your belly button and your spine and round north and south from that point. 3 more times. This is slower. It has a lot more integrity to it. So that idea that the pittas like to do things right and they like to be strong, but what they need is to move slow. And the beauty is that the slower you are, the steadier that means you are, that you feel confident in your body, that you can move slowly and with control through your range of motion, which means as you go slower, which pittas do not like, you are cultivating strength, which pittas do like. One more time. As you complete this exhale, let the sit bones get close to your heels, stretch out through your arms, slide the shoulder blades down your back though. So again, there's a little bit of a contraction going on. Your fingertips are trying to get away from your body, but your shoulder blades are trying to get into your hips. So you feel this really long line. Inhale, come forward in towards gentle plank, tuck your toes, lift your hips up into downward facing dog. Take your time here. I want you to bend your right knee and then push through the left heel. And then alternate. Bend your left knee and push through your right heel. And I want this to go a little slower. Take your time. Let the muscles and the tendons stretch and let the connective tissue catch up. So this next time that your right knee bends and you push through your left heel, you can stay right here. You could also lift up your right foot. Kind of tuck it behind your left leg. And then step it down, bend, press, lift up your left foot, tuck it behind your right leg. And then step your left foot forward, let your right foot follow, bring your fingertips towards your hands, inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, press the backs of your hands onto your mat so your fingertips are pointing towards your body. And then the more you bend your knees, the more pressure you can put on the back of your hands for a counter stretch here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, setting your gaze forward and press all the way up to standing. Take a moment to take a drink out of your hydrating liquid of choice. Okay. So we're going to do our Brahma Dandasana just 3 times, really make sure our body is open and very receptive. And then we're going to come into a variation of the sunrise salutation. So as we get ready to do our Brahma Dandasana, we'll start with our Gayatri again, just to use Brahma Dandasana as a physical representation of this idea of calling the sun to kind of rise in us, having that sun rise, warm, radiate, really start to illuminate our entire being to be our internal guide through our breath, through our intention, to really light up that path. So it's almost like asking our dragon to wake up within us. So standing in Tadasana pose, choosing your hand position either on your body or in a mudra of any kind, or even just resting your arms by your side if that feels the most appropriate for you. 3 times through. Om Bhura Bhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvaraniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhura Bhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvaraniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhura Bhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvaraniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat Om Tat Sat. Breathing that fiery sunshine into life within you and saluting that space through our Brahma Dandasana, opening your feet out to about a base that's triangle-ish for you, and letting the toes rotate out to a 45-ish degree angle. Inhale and sweep your arms up, and as you exhale, come straight down, bend the head nice and long, and adjust the space between your feet so that your shins are straight up and down, and adjust the angle of your feet so they support the direction that your knees are pointing. Bringing your hands to heart center. As you inhale, lengthen all the way up through the body, not locking it, just lengthening it. And then exhale, hinge, drawing your spine towards parallel with the floor. As you inhale, bend your elbows and either pull the elbows towards your hips or pull the shoulder blades towards each other. And as you exhale, bend your knees, brush your hands above or on the earth, and then press all the way back up. As you exhale, come right back down into Sun God. As you inhale, lift your elbows, but press your shoulder tops down. And as you exhale, strongly engage the whole core line from between the sit bones to above the belly button. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, arms. Exhale, sunflower. Inhale, gazing forward as you press the heels and reaching all the way up, and exhaling right back down into Sun God. Elbows and shoulders as you inhale. Exhale, core. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hinging forward. Inhale, arms, and exhale, sunflower. Good, all the way back up. And hands come down. Okay, so as we come into the sunrise salutation, we're going to add in the chair psoas quadratus lumborum stretch, and we're going to keep the warrior two with the high lunge variation in it as well. So we're going to keep it slow, we're going to keep it thorough, but we're going to build strength through some really intentional postures. So again, slow and steady to help us stay cool and calm, but also very much in control of our body. So letting that fiery dragon not blaze out of control and not be non-existent either. That nice, steady fire within you. And remember, the sunrise salutations are really this way to honor this fire that supports our world, but also the fire that supports our world. Okay, so coming into Tadasana. Inhale and reach up. Exhale, sit down into chair. Inhale, lengthen your low back. And as you exhale, push up, bringing your left arm with you and your right arm down, and lean over to the right side. As you inhale, come right back up, sit down into chair. And as you exhale, come up, bringing your right arm with you, leaning to the left. Inhale, sit down into chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend knees, step back into downward facing dog. Stay here for a moment. Let your heels come back to the space that they found when we were warming up. And then bring your shins down, tops of your feet down. Adjust your hands so that they're in a good position to bring your body long into gentle plank. You're very strong and steady here. Very strong and steady here. To the line of your spine, to the front of it, to the back of it, through the line of your shoulders. As you exhale, bend your elbows and brush between your arms as you lower all the way down to prone. Lengthen your legs one at a time. Really create space. It feels a lot like locust when we do this. If you take the time to really lengthen and lift your legs, you're actually doing a locust variation here. And then bring the legs down, circle the shoulders down your back, bloom your heart, your voice box, and your gaze forward. And then relax those three places down. Pinch a little blueberry juice out of a blueberry with your belly button and press right back up confidently, strongly into gentle plank. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Okay, so just like we did when we were warming up, I want you to stay long through your right leg and bend your left knee. And then lift your left foot up. Good. Okay, you can stretch it behind you if you like, and then pull the foot through towards your hands. Make sure you take the time to get it set up where it needs to be, and then we'll rotate on the back foot so that we can lift into warrior two. So you're gonna rotate through the back foot. You can place your left hand on your left thigh for a little more stability. Just really keep your torso long, and then reach through your right arm, bring it all the way up and over, coming into warrior two. Again, you want the torso to be straight up and down, the arms straight out, gazing out over that left hand. Feel the strength of holding steady here. Feel the stability of your feet, the outside edge, the inside edge, through the toes, into the heel. Good. Now take your back foot, heel toe it in one time, and then soften your back knee, rotate through your back pelvis. So now everything's facing forward. Here you are in lunge. You can bend both knees, reach your arms forward, and then push through the back leg, really coming into a dynamic high lunge. Bring your hands down to heart center, lean your torso forward, lean into your front knee a little more, and step off your back foot, coming into the head of your mat. Pause, placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, honoring your body, your breath, your spirit, and your intention. And then we'll do that again. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sitting down into chair. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, press up, bringing your left arm with you, leaning right. Inhale, back to center and down into your long spined chair. Exhale, pressing up, bringing your right arm with you, leaning left. Coming right back into chair. As you exhale, forward fold. As you inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back into downward facing dog. Same thing, give your body a breath or two here for the heels to gently and slowly release to where they were. Bend your knees, bring your shins down, tops of your feet down. Readjust your hands if you know that that's what your body needs, and then pull forward into gentle plank. Feel that dynamic line as you pull forward. Really feel the strength of your low belly. bending your elbows, bringing your heart all the way down onto your mat. And then again, taking kind of that locust variation, one leg at a time, to really take all of the length. Remember, we did a lot with our hip flexors, so there should be space here, and that space really wants to be acknowledged. And then lift into cobra. And lowering your heart back down, engaging around the belly button to press up into gentle plank. Tuck your toes, lift your hips into downward facing dog. Now the left heel is going to reach for your mat. The right knee is going to bend. Pick your right foot up, and you might kind of just tuck it behind here and right where we were. You might also extend it out. And then stepping your right foot through to your hands, giving it a moment to find its way there all the way before pivoting on your back foot. Take a nice long line through your spine. You might bring your right hand to your right thigh and then windmill circle up through the left, letting the spine come straight out of your hips, arms come straight out of your shoulder girdle, and then rotate your gaze over your front right hand. Again, feel steady. Feel strong, seeing your journey, seeing your goal, seeing what you stand for, and being able to move towards it, first with your intention, and then with your body. Heel toe your foot a little bit closer, soften your back knee, pivot around, positioning your body now towards the front of your mat. Let both of your knees relax. Reach your arms up, really taking all of that length and strength in your torso, and then push through your back leg. Let that heat really energize you. Let it motivate you. Let it say, yes, I know what I want and I'm willing to work for it. And then lean your torso forward, soften your back knees, step your back foot to your front foot, and place your hands once again on your body. Giving thanks to that sunshine within you, for all the things that it has taught you, not only about the world, but about yourself and your place in it. Really appreciating its different temperatures. When it gets hot and motivates you and spurns you forward, and when it's just warm and cozy and nourishing. All those different spaces in between those two things as well. And inhale, reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back into downward facing dog. Again, give yourself a moment. Let the heels come back to that space they've already found. And bend your knees, shins come down, cross ankle over ankle, slide your bum over and off your feet. Come back into Sukhasana. So before we come down to Shavasana, taking a moment in Sukhasana, this seat that is meant to be steady and sweet, that you should feel spacious and stable in. So maybe close your eyes for a moment, stabilize on your sits bones. So you might need to rock front to back a little bit to find that good middle ground, the bottom of your hole, H-U-L-L, like the hole of the boat. And then lengthening up through your waist, rolling down through your shoulders, relaxing through your jaw. And have this sense of being steady in your own self, but soft and adaptable to the world around you. You're really steady at the center, and as you move away from the center, a softness. It's like that glow when you look at a flame, and it's so colorful and bright at the center, and as it fades out, it kind of softens its color. It gets a little kind of a halo glow around it where it seems fuzzy or soft, and even though it's not, maybe even touchable. So maybe allow yourself to feel that in Sukhasana, that you know yourself at your core. You are steady, stable and true in that space. But as you allow your breath to extend out towards these edges, your edges get kind of fuzzy. You maybe don't always know where you end and the world begins. You feel approachable. You feel that you have the ability to hear. You feel that you have the ability to take in information and let your fire do something with it, to burn away the impurities of what you hear and to get down to the truth of what you're hearing. And then that illumination moment, do you let that truth of what you found come into the truth of you and maybe change a thing or two? Or do you allow the truth of what you found to be not aligned with you and just be burnt up and let go? Knowing that you have that choice is where your power is. You allow something in, you burn it down to its pure form, and you decide whether that pure form aligns with you or not. And if it does, you let it merge. And if it does not, you let it just burn to nothing. Good. Release your legs and bring your body down to supine. Bending your knees, planting the soles of your feet flat on your mat, shin straight up and down, heels in line with your sits bones. Arms are down along your spine, but make sure that you touch your shoulder blades underneath. Again, the shoulders are wide. The shoulders really like your hips, so they're constantly trying to get closer. Your hips aren't quite so sure about your shoulders, so they're trying to get farther away. Inhale, pelvic tilt. Exhale, pelvic tuck. Inhale, lift into bridge. Exhale, return to your mat. Inhale, pelvic tilt. Exhale, pelvic tuck. Inhale, lift into bridge. And exhale, return to your mat. Lengthen your left leg out, pull your right knee in, and take your right knee across your body to the left, stretching through your right arm, coming into your twist. Releasing back to the center. Hug your knees in between sides of your twist here. And then stretch your right leg out. Pull the left knee across your body, stretching out through the left arm. And coming back into the center. Once again, hugging your knees in. If you need one more pose before Shavasana, make sure you honor your body's request before stretching out, coming into your pose in the way that best suits you today. Supine, on your side, prone, seated. And in this Shavasana, now allow your light to just be relaxing. Almost as though your mat were a flotation device. And you're on some cool water. Your fingers might even drift in the cool water while the sun warms the front of you. Feeling these two elements work together to keep you in balance, and to give you permission to rest, to relax, to be soft. To allow those edges of you to be fuzzy. Please feel free to stay in this space for longer, as long as you need today, or as long as you can today. But if this is the amount of time that you have, give yourself a moment to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a breath in to feel the length of your body, and a breath out to pull your body into itself. And eventually take enough motions that will bring you back up into your seat. Good. If you came up to your seat, as you inhale, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, wrap your arms around yourself in a loving embrace. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. That summertime dragon inside of me sees and honors that summertime dragon inside each and every one of you. Namaste. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. I hope to see you all again on Tuesday.